House robber. Here's a classic interview scenario. You're asked to solve the house robber problem, a dynamic programming staple and pattern mastery 100 favorite that shows up at companies like Google, Amazon, and Apple. Did you know that nearly 40% of candidates get tripped up here, not because the math is hard, but because they miss the optimal substructure? Mastering house robber will instantly level up your dynamic programming skills and give you an edge in any coding interview. Ready to break into this problem like a pro? Let's dive in. Let's break down the problem. You're given a row of houses, each with a certain amount of money. If you rob two adjacent houses, the alarm goes off. The challenge: find the maximum amount of money you can rob tonight without robbing two directly next to each other. For example, given nums equals 2, 1, 1, 2, what's the maximum you can take? Now, let's assess our approach. Brute force. Sure, you could try every possible combination, but that's 2 to the power of n time, way too slow. Instead, we'll use dynamic programming. The key insight: for each house, you have two choices: rob it and skip the previous one, or skip it and take whatever you got before. So, our recurrence becomes rob n equals max rob n2 plus nums n, rob n1. This breaks the problem into smaller, overlapping subproblems, perfect for memoization or DP. Let's structure the solution. Step 1. Handle base cases. If there are no houses, return 0. If one house, take it. No houses? Nothing to rob. One house? Rob it. Step 2. Use a DP array, DPI, where each entry stores the max money that can be robbed up to house I. The first house is always robbable. The second? Pick the bigger of house 0 or house 1. Step 3. For each house, decide to rob it or skip it. If we rob, add the current house's money to DPI 2. If we skip, carry forward DPI 1. Step 4. At the end, return DPN 1, the answer for all houses. The last entry holds the max money you can rob. Approach: recursion with memoization. Time complexity, ON. This line defines the solution class. In Java, every method must live inside a class, so this simply acts as the container for our algorithm. Here we create a memo map. This is used for memoization. It stores results we've already calculated. The key is the house index, and the value is the maximum money we can rob starting from that house. This prevents repeated work. This is the main method. It takes an array of integers where each number represents how much money is in a house. The method returns the maximum amount of money we can rob without triggering the alarm. This line starts the recursive process. We begin from index 0, meaning the first house, and delegate the actual decision-making to the helper function. This closes the rob method. This defines the recursive helper function. The parameter I represents the current house index we are deciding on. From here, we choose whether to rob this house or skip it. This is the base case. If the index goes past the last house, there's nothing left to rob, so we return 0. This safely stops the recursion. Before doing any new work, we check the memo map. If we've already computed the best result starting from this house, we return it immediately. This is what keeps the algorithm efficient. This is the core decision step. We compare two choices. Skip the current house and move to the next one. I plus 1 rob the current house, add its money, and jump to I plus 2 to avoid the alarm. We take the maximum of these two options. Pause. This is the key logic of the problem. Now we store the computed result in the memo map using index I as the key. This ensures we never recompute this state again. Finally, we return the best value we found starting from house I. This closes the recursive helper method, and this closes the class. Final wrap-up. And that's how this algorithm works. It first sets up memoization to avoid repeated calculations, then recursively decides whether to rob or skip each house to maximize profit. Efficient, simple, and elegant. Test case check. House robber using recursion plus memo. Let's test our function using this input. 1, 2, 3, 1. These numbers represent the amount of money stored in each house along the street, and the goal is to steal the maximum amount without robbing two neighboring houses. Here's why the solution works. At each index I, our recursive function chooses between skipping the house, take whatever profit comes from DFS I plus 1. Robbing the house, take nums I plus DFS I plus 2. We store each result in memo so we never solve the same subproblem twice. And that's exactly what our program outputs. 4. The value matches the expected result, showing that our memoized recursion is functioning correctly. Wrap up. So, our implementation is correct. The algorithm successfully determines the maximum amount of money that can be stolen without triggering alarms, efficient, accurate, and reliable. Approach: Iterative DP, Space Optimized Time Complexity, ON. This line defines the solution class. In Java, all methods must live inside a class, so this simply acts as the container for our algorithm. Here we define the rob method. It takes an array of numbers, where each number represents money in a house, and it returns the maximum amount we can steal without robbing two adjacent houses. This line initializes two variables. Pref represents the best result up to the previous house, and cur represents the best result up to the current house. We're optimizing space by not using an entire DP array. This loop goes through each house one by one. Since we only scan the array once, this contributes to the ON time complexity. Here we store the current value of cur in a temporary variable. This is done so we don't lose it when we update our variables in the next step. This line decides whether to rob the current house or skip it. We compare two options: keep the current maximum, or take the money from this house and add it to the best total from 2 houses ago. Now we shift our variables forward. The old cur becomes the new prev, preparing us for the next iteration. This closes the loop. At this point, we've considered every house exactly once. Finally, we return cur, which holds the maximum amount of money that can be robbed without triggering the alarm. This closes the method. And this final brace closes the class. Final wrap-up. And that's how this algorithm works. It first initializes 2 rolling variables to track past results, then iterates through the houses while choosing the best option at each step. Efficient, simple, and elegant. Test case check. Optimal iterative DP. House robber. Let's test our function using this input. 2, 7, 9, 3, 1. These numbers represent the amount of money stored in each house along the street, and we want to steal the maximum amount without ever robbing 2 neighboring houses. Here's why the solution works. We maintain 2 running values. Prev, the best total we can get if we skip the current house. Cur, the best total we can get up to the current house. For each value num, the algorithm updates cur to be the maximum of the old cur, skipping this house, or prev plus num, robbing this house. And that's exactly what our program outputs. 12. This confirms the optimized DP logic is working correctly and matches the expected value. Wrap up. So, our implementation is correct. The algorithm successfully computes the maximum non-adjacent sum using constant space, efficient, accurate, and reliable. Recap script, house robber. Let's do a recap. Ever been asked the house robber in an interview? It's a dynamic programming classic, simple at first glance, but packed with logic that tests whether you truly understand optimal substructure. Once you master it, you'll see why it's a must-know for every top-tier interview. Breakdown recap. We began by defining the goal. Given a row of houses with money, find the maximum you can rob without hitting 2 adjacent ones. The key is balance. Rob 2 close together, and the alarm goes off. Spread out your choices, and you maximize your loot. Assess recap. We compared brute force and dynamic programming. Brute force explores every combination. Too slow. DP, on the other hand, breaks the problem into smaller overlapping decisions. Rob this house and skip the previous, or skip it and keep what you've already earned. That structure makes it efficient and scalable. Structure recap. We planned our solution around this simple recurrence. The best choice at each step is the maximum between robbing the current house, plus what was earned 2 houses back, or skipping it to keep the previous total. Building this logic from left to right gives us the optimal result at the end. Implement recap. We coded it cleanly, handled edge cases, and ran it on LeetCode. The implementation executed smoothly. No errors, clear logic, and efficient use of dynamic programming principles. Check recap. After testing, the solution passed all test cases and confirmed that our DP setup works perfectly, calculating the maximum amount that can be robbed without breaking the rules. Closing insight. The takeaway? Dynamic programming is about choices and consequences. Once you see how each decision depends on past results, like in House Robber, you unlock a powerful way of thinking that applies to dozens of problems beyond this one.